Welcome back. It's closing table time again. I'm Doug with the Ocean Realty. I'm here with my boy Hulk Hogan, Ben Hawkins at linwithben.com. We're here to answer all your questions about real estate and mortgage, but also just tell you how the world should work. So just tune in with us, listen, and we'll set you straight. Ben, you ready to go? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, Doug. I hope you are, bud.
I'm doing great. Let's hit the ground running with something new. The Canes tied it up last night. It's 2-2. Holy cow, this series is rocking my world. Got out to a big start, blew it in typical NC State fashion. But unlike NC State, they came back and won the thing. So what are you tracking, man? This series has been crazy. Lost game one, figured it out in game two in overtime. Lost game three in a heartbreaker after coming back from 4-0 in the third period. 3 goals in 39 seconds. Absolute insanity. And then last night, hot out of the gate again, blew the lead, but ended up winning and put the little the cherry on top with the empty net goal to finish at 5-3. This series is crazy, man. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's been epic. Series is tied 2-2 now, coming back to Carolina, coming back to Raleigh on Thursday for a big matchup. If we can get that, we need that game badly. We need that game badly because if we don't get it, they're up 3-2. They go back to Vegas at home, and we don't want to push it too far. We want to be able to maintain that lead or get that lead and then maintain it and win this thing. It's been epic. I've never historically been a big hockey fan, but I'll tell you what, after going to game one with Luke and then just experiencing all that, it is absolutely epic. And I've enjoyed this run that they're on. And what an exciting time to be a Carolina Hurricanes hockey fan. Let's go.
It's been incredible. And I'll tell you, I mean, the games aside are awesome. They're freaking selling out Lenovo for watch parties. Have you seen this? Lenovo is full to watch it on the screen. We've talked about what a crazy sports town Raleigh is, North Carolina is. Man, these people just keep showing up and proving it. I'm sure Game 5 is going to be nuts. We essentially got home field advantage back. We really need to take advantage and win Game 5, and then we've got 2 chances to wrap it up. So hopefully they can make it happen. But, man, it's been a wild ride. So much fun to watch. That game 3 overtime, I'm like, please, somebody end this. I'm so tired. I can barely keep my eyes open. But, man, so exciting. Love it. Love it. Let's keep the train rolling as long as we can. All right. Number 2, you're approved. We're still going to talk about this. Rates and gas. Now, yesterday was the cheapest I've paid for gas in probably 2 months. Good old Costco does me right anyways compared to everywhere else. But gas is still better than it has been. That's moving in the right direction. What are you seeing on the rates?
10-year Treasury is above 4.5% as of this morning, and it started creeping up there early this week. So, mortgage rates have been a little bit flat. If anything, we've lost a little bit of yield on the pricing. Again, this Iran conflict's got to get over with. It's got to get over with. And we're over 100 days in. They just had a retaliation. Iran shot down one of our Apache helicopters. So we went in and took care of some extra business, if you will. I just wish they'd go in and get this over with. It's the same. We could touch on this every week, Doug. It's going to be the same story until Iran, and we will touch on it too, because it's important, right? But until this Iran conflict settles down, we're going to be in the same boat. And, we're just hanging on for dear life. But rates are going to start moving downward once this happens. And then watch out, man. Get ready. So there's exciting times on the horizon. We just need to get to that horizon, if you will.
Yeah, it feels like we're continually on the cusp of good news, but every time we get a little good news, we backtrack. And it's probably as bad this week over the last day or two as it's been in several weeks. It's just escalated and gotten even worse. So, who knows? I think we're just all praying for a swift revolution to get this, or resolution to get this over with. So, but we'll stay on top of it, like you said, and keep monitoring things for folks. All right, let's move on to On the Hunt. Ben, we both have kids. Tell me about youth sports for Luke. How nuts is it? Because soccer is big business in the Triangle.
So right now, Luke is gotten into Coastal Cowboys organization, which is a Pop Warner football league, and they travel around. They play teams in Myrtle Beach. They play teams in Fayetteville. All kinds of stuff. Baseball, I see, is if not even more time consuming with the travel teams and stuff. There's just stuff everywhere for these kids to get into. And I personally, as a sports dad, I love it, man, because I love sports. It doesn't bother me at all. As long as he's having fun and enjoying it, that's the most important part for me. So, it's I know with your kids are active in soccer big time. They're doing very, very well. I love seeing it. Luke's doing right now swim team, which he's been on for a long time. He's a really good swimmer. And then football's coming up in July. That's going to be 4 nights a week starting out for just conditioning. Wow. And then when they're able to put the pads on, they go 3 nights a week of practice, then games on Saturday. So, I'm kind of letting Luke breathe a little bit right now and get it all, enjoy his downtime, if you will, until it's time to get to work. But I love it. I know you do too. There's nothing better than watching your kid out there having fun and doing well, and excelling at sports, or just out there having fun playing. Like they don't have to be superstars, but it sure is cool when they're good at it. Right. And I asked real quick, Doug, I'm not trying to drag this on, but I'm going to for a second. About 5 years ago, Patrick Mahomes' dad, Patrick Mahomes Sr., was at an event that I was at, for collectibles and ball cards, memorabilia, and he was signing autographs. And I went up to him and I said, Mr. Mahomes, I'd like to ask you a question. How do you know how to support your kid through sports? How do you know that you're not pushing them towards things you want them to do? How do you balance that and be a good dad? And he goes, what I did, he said, when Patrick was young, he played everything because he wanted to, and I supported it and got him there and made sure that he had what he needed. He said later on, as he got older, he said, as your kids get older, they're going to tell you eventually which ones they want to focus on. They'll narrow it down. And he said, then you throw your full support behind those. So if future Hall of Famer Patrick Mahomes, if it worked for him, I think it's going to work for me, and I've always carried that with me. Let them decide. They're going to tell you which direction you want to go. Just be there to be fully supportive and go all in with them.
Yeah, that makes 100% sense to me. That's what I think we've tried to do, is let them identify what they're interested in and follow their passage. I grew up playing baseball. My kids are not baseball players. I think Winslow played 1 season of baseball, Ever played 1 season of baseball, and that was enough for them. But that's fine, because it's really about them and supporting what they're passionate about, what they care about. And we've actually got a little bit of a respite from soccer right now. It's not really soccer season, so we've got a little bit of a break, at least from matches. But they are doing some training and stuff throughout the summer. So, keep it going. But again, we're showing up, being there for them and supporting them as much as we can. Is youth sports a big business? Of course it is. Everything is a business these days, right? But it's also a great opportunity. And, I've always been a big fan of the lessons that sports teach kids, and it's such a great thing for them to be involved in. So I love it. I love it. All right, let's keep it moving to lock it in. Let's shift gears from the NHL over to the NBA. Ben, we're moving into Game 4 tonight, I believe. Spurs dropped the first 2 at home. Knicks came out of the gate hot. Then they got back to Madison Square Garden, and all of a sudden the Spurs showed up. So we're looking at a 2-1 matchup now. Game 4 coming up in the Garden. Where do you think this series is going?
I honestly think this series will end in 6. I do. I think, the Knicks are up 2-1. If they win this next game at home, 3-1's a pretty healthy lead. There's not many teams that have been able to come back over the years to overcome that insurmountable mountain, if you will, of being 3-1 down in a 7-game series. I think it's going to be over in 6. Personally, that could go either way. The Spurs may have found something the night before on Tuesday. When did they play? Well, I don't even know what day it is today. When they played Monday, the Spurs found something. They got it together, and they've got Victor Wembanyama. If they can get him going and get him effective, it opens up everybody else around him, and they play really, really tough defense. So, I kind of laughed a little bit. You heard all the commotion about the president going to the Knicks game, and quite a large amount of them decided to boo during the national anthem when they showed him on screen saluting the flag. So you know what, Knicks, sometimes you get what you deserve, right? Even if Joe Biden was up there and the national anthem's playing, regardless of my political affiliation, I'm not going to boo the sitting president. I'm not going to do that, especially during the national anthem. So sometimes you reap what you sow. Y'all paid at a minimum of $7,000 per ticket, I think. So enjoy that. You took your L at home. You paid a lot of money to do it. And really, essentially what you did was you paid a lot of money to boo the sitting president of the United States. So, I don't have any sympathy. At this point, I'm kind of rooting for the Spurs, to be honest with you, just after I saw the way that the Knicks fans were acting in Madison Square Garden. Regardless of who the president is, you don't do that during the national anthem. Get some class.
Regardless of who the fans are, or who the president is, I never really want to pull for New York. Let's just be honest with you. But the way the Spurs just act in general, they got one person putting their hand over their heart, who was a former Hornet, by the way, Mason Plumlee. I'm Knicks all the way. I hope they wrap this thing up in 5 games. Let's go Knicks. All right, let's keep this thing moving.
No. I want to back up. So you're saying that not putting the hand over the heart, which is egregious. I don't like that either. You're saying that trumps for lack of a better word, trumps the booing during the national anthem of the president.
I'm pulling for the team, not the fans in the stadium. I'm pulling for the team.
I can't pull for fans that act that way because it makes them happy when the Knicks win. That's just my take, but that's all right.
Well, go look into Greg Popovich and let's talk about what people believe and who we want to support.
Total disaster, total nightmare. You win that one. I get it.
Yeah. All right, let's keep this moving into due diligence. Why waiting for the perfect time usually backfires? I always tell buyers, always tell sellers, the perfect time is the perfect time for you. If you're trying to time the market, and that's not just housing, it's the stock market, it's everything. You're not going to do it. It's not going to happen. 2 years ago, people were waiting for rates to drop. Well, what did you get by waiting? Not much, but prices have gone up. Inventory's gotten tighter. The market hasn't gotten better. So what are you waiting for? You need to time your life, not the market. What do you think?
If you need to buy a house, you need to buy a house. That's the thing. There's people that want to, and there's people that need to. And the people that want to are just, kind of casually shopping. They don't have a work situation they have to move for. They don't have to move. Like, it's not that urgent. The people that need to move, they're going to buy in whatever the market is. Because they have to relocate somewhere due to work, or, if they want a better school system in their mind, or whatever the case may be. For me right now, I think that, again, right now, if you're waiting as a buyer, you're kind of out of your mind in a way, just in the sense, and I mean that with all due respect, because of the fact that you're going to pay more for the house when rates go down in the 5s or even the 4s. You're going to pay a whole lot more for that house because it's going to be a feeding frenzy again. Right now, you've got your pick of the litter as it comes to listings. You've got your pick of the litter. Go out. The rates aren't in the 7% again, or 8%. Go out and get something in the low 6s. Sit on it. You got your house. You're going to pay less money for it right now than you are later on. Refinance it down the road. That's what I would highly recommend to anybody that's sitting on the fence. If you're sitting on the fence right now, you will end up paying more for the house, the same house. And I say same house, obviously it won't be on the market then, but I'm talking about the same comparable home. You're going to pay more money for it down the road when rates drop. So, I don't understand the waiting game. I don't know what you're waiting for unless it's a rate drop, in which case that's great. The rate might be 4.5% or 5%, but you're paying $30,000 more for the house. Who wins?
Yeah.
Who wins there, right? So that's my take on it. I think if you're going to do something right now, is a great time to buy. A great time to buy because you've got a lot of listings out there. You can negotiate. You're probably not going against the highest and the best offer every single time. Don't get me wrong. There's multiple offer scenarios. And that's why having a pre-qualification letter from a trusted lender like Lynn with Ben makes all the difference, because we help you.
100%.
They know a lot of agents that know us, that we stand behind what we do and we're going to get it done. So, Doug, I think if you wait, you're gonna end up spending more money on the house to purchase it, but your rate will probably be better. But why not go ahead and spend less money on the home now, refinance it when the smoke settles with this Iran conflict, and then you got a double whammy as far as something good happening.
Well, I'll say this. They say only two things are guaranteed, death and taxes, right? But I'm going to add a third, and that's when rates go down, prices go up. So just a little FYI. Good topic, though. All right, let's keep this moving into Fix This. Ben, what the hell's going on in Texas? This Texas Tech quarterback who was ruled ineligible for gambling, some local judge or whatever overruled the previous decision, I guess, and now he's eligible. And now, teams from Georgia, I think maybe Ohio State, have said, we're not going to play Texas Tech. No, Nebraska, thank you. We're not going to play Texas Tech in any sport, not football, in any sport. Drop them. Holy cow, this is nuts.
Yeah, college athletics is completely wild right now. Kurt Signetti, the national championship head coach for Indiana that won it last year, he said, if we don't work out this NIL stuff in the next 2 years, college football, it can't sustain itself. The amount of money that's being spent, it just can't sustain itself. And I say all that to tell you, they've got to get that in line, or this topic doesn't even really matter anymore, right? Like it's a moot point. The thing that I understand about this story, and correct me if I'm wrong, Doug, was this kid went to a rehab facility for gambling addiction, but it wasn't him gambling. I don't believe it was him gambling on his own team or what have you. I think this was gambling on sports betting in general, is my understanding. So did he ever bet on his own team? Who knows? I don't know. But if he did it legally on one of those apps, you can track that pretty carefully. And I'm sure that would have come out and he would have been exiled from the sport. I don't know what the pushback is on it. I guess, I do understand the pushback, but my thing is this. We've got a court system right now where one judge makes one decision and then another judge makes another decision and trumps it. And then another judge can come in and override that decision. It's out of control. I mean, you have one court that decides it all then. Quit finding these other outlets for judges that may believe or think differently than the other to finally get the answer that you want. It's like if I go out and I ask 10 people the same question, how do I find the prettiest girl to marry me, right? And they give me these suggestions. Well, 8 people might have one that says, Ben, you need to get in the gym, you need to work out hard, get your body in shape, you need to do all these things. I don't want to hear that one though, right? Because that's the hard work one. I want to listen to, just the right one will come along at the right time or something like that. You see what I'm saying? I want to go for the smooth and easy. So if you ask enough people their opinion on something, you're going to get different answers, and you can probably choose the path that's the easiest one in your mind if you don't want to do the work. I compare that to this because if you ask 4 judges in 4 courts the same thing, people are going to have different opinions. So what are they doing? Are they bouncing around to each judge until they get the result that they want, which is what they did here? So, I don't know if I think the kid owned a gambling addiction. I think there's something to be said for that, taking accountability. As far as eligibility, I don't know why these other teams are refusing to play him if he had a sports gambling addiction. I don't get that as long as he's not betting on his own team. So, each to their own, it's their choice. I'm not saying they're right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm just saying, when is this going to stop with all these judges making different decisions? And then the last one that makes the decision, it stands until they go to a different courtroom in a different part of Texas or whatever. So I don't know. That's just my thought on it.
Well, I think you make a really good point, and the conversation could go 2 different ways, right? We could talk about rogue judges and all that's going on with that in the last year or two, right, and how that impacts things, but not to go down that path. I think what this really shows is, the NCAA is just useless. What's even your point anymore? The SEC and the Big Ten run football, which is the big money maker. They're the ones driving the ship. You're not. Basically, the NCAA has turned out to be what people have thought they were for a long time, and it's a paper tiger. They're becoming more and more irrelevant. They've shown that they don't have control over the situation. They've shown that people don't listen to them or care what they think. And to a larger degree, and I love college sports. You know that. You love college sports. But the further we go down this path, the less appealing college sports are. And it's really
100%.
it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating.
It's become a shit show. And it's like you said, it becomes to the place where there's so much controversy all the time and so many rules are getting flipped around. Nobody knows really what the rules are. We're letting court judges decide instead of having baseline rules as an NCAA for everybody. It's not a one size fits all anymore. It's, oh, okay, well, you get a pass if you're in this particular court district. Like, no thanks. So yeah, it is turning me away from. It's not what it was. It's not about the universities anymore. All it is about wins and losses, and players don't care about the school. You know, they really don't. They care about the money. Let's be honest, and I don't blame them. They're young. A lot of these kids are coming into hundreds of thousands of dollars for the first time in their life, or millions of dollars. What are you going to do? I mean, so I agree with you, Doug. It's ruining college athletics at this point.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, let's keep it moving to counteroffer. We're back with another food fight. We talked about how much you love cookout last time. What's your favorite cookout milkshake? Do you have a favorite one?
I don't, Doug. Sorry. I don't drink their milkshakes. I don't drink milkshakes, to be honest with you.
Thanks for adding a lot to the conversation.
Well, I mean, how many times do you want to go over cookout, Doug? I mean, I know you love the place. Listen, I'll tell you what, next time we bring up cookout, let's have them on as a sponsor of the show. Let's do that.
Oh, good idea.
This is the closing table brought to you by Cookout. Let's go.
Yes.
Luke enjoys the milkshakes, and so we go there and get them. Doug, what's your favorite milkshake at Cookout?
Peanut butter. No doubt about it.
Let's go.
It's fantastic. I might go get one right now after we finish the show. Fantastic. But I'd love to hear what other people's favorite milkshakes are because I never mix it up. I think I've maybe had banana pudding, maybe vanilla and chocolate, but that's it. I mean, when I go to get the peanut butter milkshake. So if you've got a suggestion for another flavor that I should try, hit us up. Let's see it in the comments. All right, let's keep it moving. Getting local, North Carolina lens. Ben, do you think that the Tar Heel State could ever host the Super Bowl?
Wow. I mean, it'd be pretty cool. I don't. Wow. What a question, I think that it would be really cool if the Super Bowl was hosted in Charlotte. I don't see that ever happening. I don't think it's a big enough. I mean, Charlotte's a big city, but I don't think it's big enough in the sense of all the amenities and all the requirements it takes to host a Super Bowl, personally. No offense to Charlotte. I'm just saying. It would be awesome. It would be awesome. I think that it would be an absolute buzz fest. And I don't mean buzz as an alcohol. I mean, like all the city would just go completely shut down for a week in celebration of the Super Bowl. I think that would be the case, especially if the Panthers were in it. That would be pretty cool to have a home Super Bowl game. But, that's a ways away. We got to see what the Panthers do this year. But I personally think that North Carolina, and again, Doug, I come from a state in Kentucky where there aren't pro sports teams at the major level. So college sports is what we had. And I mean, you got the University of Louisville, you got the University of Kentucky, two juggernauts as far as D1 athletics are concerned. With that being the case, I see that same passion in the fan bases here in North Carolina. There's a lot of comparisons, and it's pretty cool to see. I love the support that's been thrown behind the Carolina Hurricanes. We definitely should have a Major League Baseball team in Raleigh, not Charlotte, in Raleigh. The fans show up in Raleigh. Charlotte, you get a lot of fan bases from the other teams that show up to watch. Baseball, they don't travel like they do in football. Raleigh gets it done. I've been to a lot of sporting events there, and I got to give them a big hand golf clap here because they do it right. So for me, I think a Super Bowl would be awesome in Charlotte. I don't see it happening. I don't think a lot of people get it necessarily excited about a Super Bowl in Charlotte. I mean, I don't know. But hey, whatever's better for North Carolina, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. It would be cool to see, but I think the likelihood is low. Also, I think, warm climates are good for the Super Bowl unless you got a dome. Nobody wants to play in cold weather in the Super Bowl because honestly, I don't want the weather to impact the game. I want it to be about the players on the field, right?
Right.
You made a great point about the fan base, though. I mean, I think people would definitely show up. To shift the gears a little bit, another billionaire stepped forward this week and said, "Hey, I want in on the MLB Raleigh, North Carolina effort." A guy who owns a huge stake in the Carolina Courage, the women's soccer team in Raleigh. He stepped up and said, "Hey, I'd like to be part of this." I think how amazing that Canes fans are making Raleigh look and North Carolina look is really helping our cause. I mean, I don't think it could have really been at a better time where we are with what's happening and moving towards the expansion talk. I'm really hoping that it's lining up. And with Dundon charging $95 for parking and $20 for beers, I think he's making enough money from this playoff run to pay for the Major League Baseball team. So, maybe it'll all work out in the long run.
Yeah, how about a free parking night to the fans? How about a free parking night? Save you $100. I mean, that's insane.
They have to pay to park to go to the watch party, Ben.
That's insane, dude. They ought to valet park your car for that price. Honestly, they ought to have a guy in a nice outfit that says, "Oh, sir, let me park this for you," and then you bring him your ticket after the game, and they go get your car for that kind of price. It's insane. I mean, if you're a billionaire,
that's fantastic.
Plus, if you're a billionaire, do you really need to charge that much for parking? I mean, honestly, like, is it
hey,
that
you got
bad?
to make the most of it. I don't know if you've ever heard this story, but Marge Schott, who used to own the Reds, and I know you do because the Reds are your hometown team. She was so pissed when they won the World Series in 1990. They swept the A's that they didn't get more home games, that she didn't even pay for their celebration. The guys had to go buy their own food after they won the World Series.
It's insane. It's insane.
It's amazing. All right, let's keep this train on the tracks. Final walkthrough, Ben. I'm hitting you up in your wheelhouse, man. Recap the French Open for us,
dude.
What'd you think of the way it wrapped up?
It was pretty epic. I think when Zverev was I expected him to win. Finally, his first Grand Slam. He was going down as one of the best players that never won a Grand Slam. That was kind of his MO. There was an asterisk by his name. He's had a lot of controversy. He had some domestic violence allegations against him about 5 or 6 years ago, but by two different women that seemed to work themselves out. People still hold that against him, I think. But at the end of the day, the guy's worked really hard to get to where he is, and they get stopped by Djokovic and Sinner and Alcaraz every time. It's got to be a little heartbreaking, but yet he laces them up and still gets out there every time. Mira Andreeva, I think a lot of us saw that coming. She's been dominant throughout the tournament on the women's side. And the girl that she played in the finals, I can't pronounce her last name, sorry, but she was a qualifier and made the finals of the French Open. She was ranked 121 in the world. Now she's going to be bumped up to at least 21st in the world as a result of her French Open run. It's just that was a great story in itself. I like seeing the underdog come up and perform on the biggest stage. Now, she got worked in the finals, but Mira Andreeva is a 19-year-old prodigy. I mean, she signed with Nike when she was 12. This girl has been expected to win Grand Slam. Yeah, she's been expected to win Grand Slam. So it was an epic tournament. Fonseca Djokovic match in the third or fourth round was absolutely epic. My friend Ed Everett, who's on my tennis team, he and his wife were there to watch it live in Paris. I now his new nickname is Roland Garros. That's what I call him. Is Roland after the tournament. How epic of play did we see? The clay is such more of a grind and grit and physical than you find on hard court, which hard courts are physical, but clay's a different animal. The ball plays typically slower than hard courts, especially grass, which we're gearing into the grass season in preparation for Wimbledon. But it was an epic tournament. I enjoyed every minute of it. The first matches typically came on at 5 a.m. Yes, I did set my alarm. But they were finished up by, in most cases, 4 or 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here in the States. So it was cool to watch. The Australian Open will start at like 1 or 2 in the morning. And then you're up all night or all morning, if you will, watching that. So we got Wimbledon next. I love Wimbledon. It's such a historic, prestigious tournament on the grass. And we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it was an epic run. Congratulations, Sasha Zverev. Congratulations to the Polish player who I can't pronounce her name. I'm not going to butcher it on air right now, but she's from Poland. She's become kind of a national hero. She's the first Polish player other than Iga Swiatek to make the final. Iga is a past champion like 3 or 4 times at Roland Garros. So congrats to all of them. I enjoyed every single set, every single game, every single point.
I think I read that she's the youngest women's winner in like 3 decades. Amazing. So it's kind of cool when you see the child prodigy actually come of age and do the thing that everybody is expecting them to do. Let me ask you this. One Grand Slam event, if you could pick one to go to, what would be the one you would pick?
Wow, that's a great question. I went to the U.S. Open last year and flew up to New York City, had a ball, got to watch Djokovic play live. He's the GOAT, and it was something on my bucket list. If I had to choose between the remaining ones, because I've already done the U.S. Open, it would either have to be Wimbledon or the French Open, probably Roland Garros and the French Open, just because I play a lot on clay and I appreciate it. I love it. And I'm just a huge fan of physical, gritty matches. And on clay, you got to figure it out. Wimbledon would be epic because of the prestige that comes with it. And it's so either Wimbledon or Roland Garros is what I would have to say. Australian Open, I'm good on that, guys. I'm not going to Australia for that. Have no desire to. But either Paris or London for one of those two would be it.
Well, I hope you go to one so I can start calling you Roland or maybe Wimbledon. So let me know when you get it.
Wembley.
Wembley. All right, let's keep it moving. It's closing time, brother. We know what we're going to look at this week, but I'm going to tell you one thing I saw last week, and that was the He-Man movie. And it was fantastic.
Did you go see it?
And I loved it. Yes.
Wow. Okay. I need your review. Let's go on that. He-Man review, please.
It was really great. I really enjoyed it. It didn't take itself too seriously, which I think some people enjoy, but also some people didn't appreciate because they wanted it to be a little more serious. One thing that I thought was really cool, not to be a spoiler, but the whole thing, the way it really explained why some of the characters have the names that they do, which I thought was really clever to work it in. And I don't want to talk too much about it. You'll see it when you go see it. I just thought it was really clever. It was well done. There were a couple of moments where there's like just too much sentimental dialogue BS going on. It was like, okay, let's move the story along a little bit. But overall, I thought it was really well done. I really enjoyed it. It was great nostalgia, but also mixed in with some stuff I really didn't know. And of course, they've set it up for another movie or two, I think. So I hope that you'll take the chance to go see it. I don't know that my kids really enjoyed it that much, but I didn't take them for them to enjoy it. I took them for me to enjoy it. But, you know, they had the opportunity. They got some popcorn. So, but I would love to see what you think when you have a chance. But I would say overall, very positive. I really enjoyed it. And I would recommend anybody who enjoyed, you know, the cartoons growing up to go check it out.
Well, Doug, after I saw the pronouns on He-Man's desk, I decided I'm waiting for streaming or video, you know, for rental or whatever. I probably am going to hang tight on it and just wait. But I'll be happy to give you my review when it comes about. And it may be episode 28. It could be episode 68. I don't know. But whenever we get there, I'm going to let you know my review on He-Man. I appreciate yours. I know you and I both are kind of 80s nostalgic type guys, you know, and we appreciate that era. So, you know, it's cool to see He-Man back in action.
Well, I'll tell you now, like I told you then when it came up about the pronoun stuff, that was them taking the piss on themselves. They were making it intentionally funny and making fun of the culture that is all about that. So you'll see it when you see it. They did a good job of poking fun at that, which I really enjoyed. So what else are you looking forward to this week? Obviously, we got the Canes. We got the NBA Finals back tonight. What else are you watching out for?
I'll tell you what, the Canes I'm really, really honed in on right now. Had an epic time. You know, like I said, Luke and I were fortunate enough to get some tickets We're giving some tickets to go to game one. That was super incredible, the atmosphere. So I'm hooked on the Canes right now in the Stanley Cup Finals. Rates oil, we know that. We talk about it every week. I'm keeping a close eye on that because I have to. I have a fiduciary responsibility to my clients and my real estate partners like Doug Yop to say, hey, guys, here's what's going on. If I need to be the expert in my field. So as always, I'm keeping an eye on that. Really, to be honest, aside from keeping an eye on those markets, I'm trying to step back a little bit from all of it, because if I get overly engaged, I then can get emotional about it and say, oh man, come on, let's get doing this. And I get fired up. So just taking a step back, taking a breath, enjoying my time with Luke this summer, and just working hard. Those are my focal points this week and hopefully every week.
I hear you. Well, I got my Braves shirt on today. The Braves still have the best record in baseball, by the way, even though we haven't talked about them for a little bit. We're heading to Atlanta Sunday. We got the World Cup on Monday. Very excited about taking the boys to a World Cup game in Atlanta. Then we're going to see the Braves on Tuesday play the Giants. So I'm looking forward to getting out of town for a little break, a little summer adventure with the kids who are both out of school now. Summer is in full swing. Trying to relish every moment of it and just really live it up and have a great time.
I love it, Doug. Sounds like a fantastic summer, brother.
I sure hope so. Well, folks, we're at the end again. Docs are signed, deeds recorded. It's closing time. It's been a great episode, Ben. Had a lot of fun talking to you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And please comment. Let us know what you think, especially your favorite cookout milkshake. Ben, go get a freaking milkshake so you can have some input. And
is there a diet milkshake on the menu, Doug?
and join us again. We'll be back. We look forward to seeing you guys again. But until then, Doug Yop with the Ocean Air Realty, my boy Ben Hawkins, LenWithBen.com. You need help with real estate or just getting your life in order, we've got all the answers. So just let us know. We'll help you out, okay? But until then, we'll see you next time, Ben. Peace out, brother.